long. Hey, so long. Yeah, so long. Goodbye to my trouble. Goodbye to my pain, y'all. Somebody wave me bye-bye. Somebody wave me bye-bye. You ain't welcome here. You ain't welcome here. Goodbye to my trouble. Goodbye to my pain, y'all. I can't hear you up there. Somebody raise it up, say. Somebody raise it up, say. You are the God of miracles, hey. You are the God of miracles. Ah, you are the God of wonders. You are the God of wonders. Thank you. We cast our care upon you. For you care for us. That's what we can say. I believe. I believe. Say it. I believe.
It's down magic.
Double HRO. Oh, na, na. Lord, I just wanna thank you. How could I ever repay? Oh, Jesus, you're taking the pains away from me. And you've given me victory, yeah. Everywhere I go, blessings follow. Anything I do, favor follow and more. Kicks are coming to my rising. I'm going higher by the grace of God. Oh, oil on my head, oil on my head. Increase in my hands, increase in my hands. Speed on my feet, speed on my feet. Everywhere I go now, everywhere I go now. There's oil on my head. I carry it above for head. Increase in my hands, increase in my hands. Speed on my feet, speed on my feet. Everywhere I go now, everywhere I go. This is my season of favor. Yeah. This is my season of increase. No, 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 no. My life is upward and forward. Oh, I can never go down. No, 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 no. Everywhere I enter, goodness and mercy they enter. Everywhere I go now, goodness and mercy they follow. Things are coming to my rising. I'm going higher by the grace of God. Oil on my head, oil on my head. Increase in my head, increase in my head. Speed on my feet, speed on my feet. Everywhere I go now, everywhere I go, I carry the ball for head. Oil in my head, oh. Increase in my hands, increase in my hands. Speed on my feet, oh. Speed on my feet, oh. Everywhere I go now, everywhere I go, I carry the ball for head. I carry the ball for head. I can tower, tower, tower. I can tower, tower. I carry the ball for head. I carry the ball for head. I can tower, tower, tower. I can tower, tower, tower. Everywhere I go, blessings follow. Anything I do, favor follow and more. Kings are coming to my rising. Oh, I'm going higher by the grace of God. Oh, oil on my head, oil on my head, yeah. Increase in my hands, increase in my
All right, so we're getting started right now. And we do have all our mentors here. We're going to say a word of prayer and then we'll get started. So let us pray. Father, we thank you for this morning. We thank you for making today, bringing us today, and for blessing us enough to be able to make this happen today. We thank you for everything. As we are here to have this program, Father, we leave the program into your hands, and let this be a successful event. And at the end of the day, all thanks and glory will be unto your name. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, so first of all, we want to say thank you to our sponsors. We do have ICGC Praise Temple, who this church has given us the platform here and everything of theirs to use in this program. And then also, thank you to Houston Spine Institute, one of our sponsors also, who have been, holding us and making us swollen-headed a little bit. And then also to Prime Express Pharmacy. They also are helping us with this whole mentorship, and we also have the support from Ghana Association of Houston. So these are our sponsors, and if you want to sponsor us, we have our websites there. You can just contact us through the website, or you can reach out to either me or Rena. Thank you. So we're a little behind time. However, we're just going to go straight to the point. I would like to introduce our mentors here, starting with Dr. Maxwell Edulate, who is right here, my immediate left. So that is Dr. Maxwell Edulate, who is an orthopedic and spine surgeon. And then we do have Dr. Bridget Senano Agbakpe, yes, who is a registered nurse. And we do have Vera Damte, who is also a registered nurse. And then we do have Ekia Ozumba, who is a nurse practitioner. So welcome our mentors, and thank you for coming here to make this event a success as well. Okay, so I will let them say a few things about themselves, and why we are here. Thank you.
Hi, hello. Hi, everyone. My name is Akuyo Zumba, like she stated. I'm a nurse practitioner at Memorial Hermann, all Memorial Hermans, actually. I'm kind of venture between Pearland, Southeast, Sugar Land, and Memorial City. I've been doing it for about a year and a half now. A little background in terms of education, right? So to be a nurse practitioner, you have to first be a nurse. And to be a nurse is a 2-year bachelorette program, and then 2 years of your actual nursing program. So it's about 4 years, plus your 2 years of your master's program, which is, 2 years. There's different types of nurse practitioners. So there's different types of masters. I did acute care, so most of my patient care is in the hospital inpatient. You can be a family nurse practitioner if you like kids, if you like emergency medicine, if you want to do clinic, that's more of a family nurse practitioner. For acute care, you're starting your life in the ER, so you'll see your patients when they come in, and then you just follow them all the way upstairs. You basically, to describe it is, whenever you go to a hospital and they're like, oh, you're spending the night, then that's who you're seeing. You're gonna see me because you're spending the night, so I'll be taking care of you. And then a little bit about my background. I have 5 years in the ER medicine as a regular nurse, as a BSN nurse. And from there, I just love medicine. I've just been doing it for clearly so long now. So if you have any questions, any concerns, you are more than free to open up and ask. I've had mentees all over, so I'm always open to add more.
Thank you, Akia. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Vera Damte, as I was introduced, and I'm a registered nurse. So I'm glad that Ikria started with letting you know kind of like a little higher ceiling to nursing. I always introduce myself with my background from the fact that I am a patient. So I was born with sickle cell, and I spent the earlier years in the hospital. So I was very, very familiar with doctors and nurses and other healthcare professionals. And even with that, I wasn't interested in becoming a nurse or in medicine because I had spent so much time over there. And so I was an art student, and back home in Ghana, where I come from, you either were aligned to do arts, business, or science. And it kind of depends on your aptitude and your intelligence. So by default, based on your results, I was put in the arts group. And so there was no way I could do anything in sciences, let alone think of doing healthcare. I say that to encourage you all because over here in America and even the UK, Canada, Australia, anywhere in the world you're hearing me, the opportunities are very different and the educational structure is different. So you do have the will as long as you set the goal to achieve any branch of healthcare that you want to, or even any branch of career that you want to. It doesn't mean that because from high school or from university you choose a particular path, you cannot pivot. And I want my story to encourage you. So fast forward, when I graduated from school, the Ghana education system was facing challenges, and professors and students were going on strike in the universities. So I ended up staying at home for 3 years with my colleagues. Now think about it. In the UK, educational programs in the universities ran for 3 years. So within that 3 years, our colleagues in the world were graduating, while we had never even stepped in the university at that time. And so I got the opportunity to visit family in the UK, and I got into volunteering. I want you all to pay attention as I give you these high points. I got into volunteering in the health space. I used to volunteer for muscular dystrophy patients. They were in a home, and we took care of their everything. That propelled me to do what we call a national vocational certification. That national vocational certification became the bridge for me to cross over from the arts into the sciences. I met a mentor there, and this is the reason why we are here today. These mentors, like us, impact your life, and you really want to plug yourself into one of us. This mentor was a white lady. I don't know what she saw in me. She thought I could go to Oxford to study nursing. She encouraged me to take the vocational certification. It was a 6-month program. And I want to say that here, we do have programs like that. Even from high school, you can take a health and social science class, or you could even do certifications on the side. And I can actually share some of that with you when you all reach out. But one of the key ones right now that is very important to do is called the Community Health Service or Community Health Worker certifications. It's a brief course that would introduce you into healthcare, or just any standard basic health and social care class would do as well, because that will give you the exposure. You could also find organizations, dental offices, vision, anywhere, as far as I'm concerned, or even nurse practitioner clinics, that you could go and help at. Just even doing the administrative stuff there while you're in school to get the experience and the exposure into patient care. Fast forward, I was able to apply to nursing school because I had that certification that bridged mine. We did A-levels, so like your SAT or your high school graduation certifications. So I used that and used the certification that I got from the vocational course or like community health work or health and social care course, boosted my resume, and I got admitted into nursing school. I did my nursing program in the UK, University of Greenwich. And as you will find out, I love to talk and teach. My background and my parents are teachers. So very quickly, I went into teaching and mentoring students. And so I was able to have the privilege to go back to my school to teach. When I moved over here in the US, I actually graduated with my master's in nursing education. While in the UK and migrating to the US, I've done various aspects of nursing. Like Ikuya was explaining about the different specialties and areas that you have in nursing. I've done nursing research. I've done nursing quality and administration. I've done pure clinical work. I did go to do my BSN in mental health. So I worked in different mental health settings as a forensic nurse, as a forensic acute intensive care nurse, and I did work in the community. It was at the point when I worked in the community that I kind of felt it's a key place, because who lives in the community? All of us live in the community, but that is where preventative health is very key. On the flip side, after people have become ill, unfortunately, ending up with a queer side of the aisle, and they're in the hospitals, when they get discharged, they come home to us in the community. So the community has a two-edged space, if you think about it, in terms of preventative health and in terms of rehabilitation. When you're in preventative health, your goal is to not let people get sick. So we want to promote healthy living, and that is where I work now. So I work with what we call the MCOs, which is the Managed Care Organizations. They are all your insurance companies, all the health insurance companies. We have United Healthcare, we have Molina, we have AmeriGroup, we have Humana, we have Superior. The list is endless. They manage our health insurance that pays for your health care. Or you can have some private companies as well doing that. The managed care organizations I work for get contracts from the states and the government. So we look at older people with Medicare, which is over 65, you have that entitlement, or Medicaid, which means you're qualifying because you have a qualifying disability from the age of 21 and above. They do have the same programs, Star and Kids, for kids as well. I want to talk about the fact that when you're with an MCO, there's good opportunities to work all over the country because we are, like I said, contracting with Medicaid and Medicare. And then we also are able to work at home remotely, and we can also work in the patient's home. So I'm giving you a picture of being in the hospital with a career side and being in the community. So the opportunities in healthcare are endless. And I want to pause here and pass on to my colleagues so they can also shed some light. And I'm glad I have another nurse here. And it's interesting to pay attention to her side of experience.
Thank you, Vera. As you can see, we've already heard from 2 nurses. We're yet to listen to another nurse, and you'll see that there are different, like, you can do whatever you want in nursing, actually. It's a lot. So you're not limited to just bedside. You say, I'm a nurse, and then people are like, oh, I don't want to. No, that is like the basic. That's basic in nursing. But then when you decide to explore, there is a whole lot to explore. I'm even surprised. I didn't know this was in nursing. So, yeah, thank you, Vera. Yeah, we'll go to our next mentor.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. How are you all doing? My healthcare mentees, I hope you're all doing well. I want to first of all thank the organizers of this program, Sister Lady Brenda and Sister Rena, because I wish when I was growing up I had this kind of mentorship, but I did not. So I'm so happy that you ladies have put this on yourselves. I know it's a lot of work. You are doing God's work. So know that we appreciate you. Our kids can come here and listen to great mentors here. So Sister Rena, Sister Lady Brenda, God bless you. You are doing God's work. Thank you very much. So as she mentioned already, my name is Bridget. I'm a mother of 3. One is sitting right here in front of me. I have 2 daughters and a son. Youngest is 11, oldest is 17. And I'm a critical care nurse by background. I have 23 years of nursing experience. I can't even believe it. I finished nursing school in 2001. I sound ancient, don't I? So I've been doing this for 23 years. And I've done so many different things. I started off as a med-surg nurse. I did that for only 1 year, and I went into critical care nursing. And then I went into nursing education after my master's. And I'll tell you all about that story, because Dr. Max likes hearing that story. So I'll tell you all about that story. So then I went into critical care nursing after med-surg for 1 year. Then I went into nursing education. Do you all know that our church has a university in Ghana called Central University? You know that, right? Some people do. So ICGC has a big university, private university, premier private university in Ghana called the Central University. That's where I taught nursing for almost 6 years. I really enjoyed teaching. So because of that, I decided to go and do my PhD and teach. Then life brought me to the US, and I'll tell you that story. So I've done education, critical care, and I was recently in quality. I was director of quality for Houston Northwest. I'm currently in clinical operations. So I'm the director of clinical operations for the intensivist group for ACA all over Texas. So I have all the ACA hospitals in Texas, and I oversee the intensivist groups in all those facilities. So as you can see, you can do so many things with nursing. How did it start? So in my holy village in Amfuega, the part that Dr. Max likes hearing, in my holy village in Amfuega, I went to Amfuega St. Peter and Paul RCGSS. That's what he wants to hear. So while there, I was 10 years. It would be like 6th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade. I started writing doctor on my books. I write on every book of mine, my albums, my storybooks. I write Dr. Senanu Ufori, every book of mine. So I had a dream, but in that little village, I did not know what I was going to do to get to becoming a doctor. But I had a dream. So I'm telling you the power of dreams. You have to dream. And being in America, I see the opportunities, and I'm like, if I were to be born here, I would have been on the moon by now. That's what I tell my children. If I were to be born in this place, I would have been on the moon. But in that little village, I had a dream of becoming a doctor. I don't even know where, how, when, but I had a dream. So from there, I went to Ola Girls Secondary School in the Volta region in Ghana. From there, at that time, they had started both SS and A-levels. So in Ghana, they had the A-level system and the SS system. We all graduated at the same year. The universities were only 3 at that time. University of Ghana, Cape Coast University, and I think it was KNUST, were the only 3 universities in the country for all the students graduating from all the high schools in the whole country. So at that time, it was very competitive to get into the university. And I was offered a course in physics, to go and do physics. I struggled through physics in SS. So I do not see myself going to the university to go and do physics. I know I will bomb throughout. I don't know how I will do that. So opportunity came for me to go and do nursing at 37 Military Hospital. And that story, I say to the glory of God, were like 500 applicants to go into nursing school. And they were only looking for 37 people out of 500. And by God's grace, I was one of the 37 that was picked to 37 Military Hospital nursing school. But while at that nursing school, I knew the dream was to be a doctor. So, yeah, I'm in NTC, but I want to be a doctor. So how do I do it? So I started planning already from that NTC. I'm going to be the best student there will ever be in that school so that I get the opportunity to continue. So right after NTC, I did 1 year of service at the hospital, then off to South Africa to go and continue my education. It was really, 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 really tough. So I was working at the critical care units in the nights and then go to school during the day. You all don't have to deal with all of that. Your mothers are going to be paying the bills. For me, I was in school during the day, and I work during the night. I can go to school and sleep, and my colleagues will be writing me notes. Keep your eyes open your eyes, wake up, wake up. So it was really tough. There were days that I thought of quitting. But what do you think kept me going? Yeah, what do you think kept me going? The dream to become a doctor, the dream. So after finishing my master's, I'm like, to God be the glory, I'm done with master's. Never again am I going back to school. It was tough. Master's in critical care nursing was really, really tough. The research took everything out of me. I didn't want to see computers when I finished. But I had a dream of becoming a doctor. And I knew that now there's a path to becoming a doctor when I'm a nurse. So I went back to school, kicking and screaming, but the dream kept me going. So I went back and did my PhD in critical care nursing, and I've not regretted it. Will I do it again? No, I was completely traumatized. Yeah, will I ever do it again? No, but I'm happy I did because that has opened a lot of doors for me. So that has been my story from where I started from to becoming a nurse and where I am today. For you here in the US, I think you already start from high school. I know my daughter is doing pharmacy tech, and I know some of you do CNA, right? You have that in high school, right? You do like CNA, MT, EMT, and all of that from high school. So after that, you can decide to go and do your ADN, which is associates, right? Associates in nursing. Then if you want to, you can go straight from high school and go into a BSN program. Or you can go from high school and go into an ADN program. While you work, then you do your BSN. Lots of people start with CNA. They are CNAs, they are working, and then they go into either ADN or go into BSN. So you can decide to do that route or go straight from high school to nursing school if that's the route you want to take. And I have not regretted being a nurse. If I had gone to do physics, I don't know where I've been by now, but God had a plan. Okay, I have not regretted being a nurse. There are so many things you can do in nursing. You can be an ED nurse. You can be a critical care. I love critical care nurse. If you love adrenaline, ED and critical care will be your thing. You can be a mental health nurse. You can be a med-surg nurse. You can be a pediatric nurse. You can be a labor and delivery nurse. There are so many things you can do in nursing. So if you don't like one side of it, you can move to another side. And as I said, I've done quality. I've been in quality for many years. That aspect of nursing, I didn't even know existed when I was in Ghana, in South Africa. I didn't know there was like a quality aspect, infection prevention. There's even law in nursing. You can be a patient safety person in nursing. I have a friend who is a lawyer, and she's a nurse. She's a nurse and a lawyer, and she does all our legal issues and all the lawsuits that come. So there's so much you can do in nursing. So a little advice before I end. One thing is that I always tell myself, when the going gets tough, I tell myself that the pain is temporary, but the pride is forever. The pain you go through when you are striving for excellence, the pain you go through when you want to be number one in your class, you want to be in the top 10 in your class, when you deny all your friends and concentrate on your books, when you leave social media and you are studying. I know what I'm talking about. People always have earphones in their ears in my house. If you leave all of that and concentrate on the books, at that time, the pain will be very much like you think that you are denying yourself so much. But the knowledge that you get, nobody can take it from you. The certificates that I have, nobody can take them from me. So the pain is temporary, but the pride is forever. So remember that. If you don't do it, you regret not doing it. But if you do it, you will not, because that pride will be with you forever. You will write your resume and it will be very long, and all this education you've done to be very long. Have I achieved and am I where I want to be? No, not yet. Ask my children. Every year, I write one certification exam. And at the beginning of the year, I tell myself, this is what I'm writing this year. And by the end of the year, I must achieve that certification exam. So every year, I keep going. We haven't achieved it yet. We are not there yet. We are not telling you we are mentors because we are the top of our game. I still have a lot I want to do. So dream big. Make sure the dream directs you and the dream takes you to where you need to be. But also remember that the pain is temporary, but the pride that you get is forever. Now I have my doctor. I can write it on my books now, proudly. Nobody can take that from me. So the pain was a lot. If I want to tell you the story into details, it's a lot. I could have given up on the way, but know that the pain is temporary, but the pride you feel when you achieve that dream is forever. Write the dream somewhere, put it in your Bible, put it in a book, post it on your wall instead of posting Justin Bieber on your wall. Post the dream that you want to achieve on your wall. Every morning when you wake up, you see that this is where I want to be. When a friend is distracting you, know that, no, this friend will not take me to my dream. So this friend, you take them out. So please make sure you follow the dream. But have a dream and have it big. The U.S. has a lot. I said I would have been on the moon if I were to be born here. Have a big dream. You can do it. You can achieve it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bridget. Just to add a little to what she said, it reminded me of when I got to this country, I had to transfer my license to the United States. And as much as a lot of Ghanaians do underestimate the education here, I can tell you the licensing exam for both nursing, physicians is hard. I will tell you it is difficult. But I wrote what I wanted to be, because in Ghana, nurses, we don't add the credentials. It's not a requirement. But here, in the health setting or professional setting, it is required. And that's why you can see some people have a whole lot. Dr. Bridget, she hasn't finished yet. So her name, I don't know where it's going to go to. Maybe she's trying to write a book with her name only. So, so yeah, I wrote my name, Lady Brenda Boateng, BSN RN, even though I already had my bachelor's. But to be able to call myself that in the United States, I had to pass the NCLEX. I wrote it, pasted it there, and I'm like, I'm going to get there. And so the next level, you write it, put it there, remind yourself every time, and it really helps. I did it with my friends, and my friends also went through the same process, and they are where they are right now. So, yeah, just to add up. Thank you, Dr. Bridget, and we'll go to our next mentor.
Hello. If you were here last year, you know I don't like sitting down. I have ADHD, so I don't like to sit. I have to be up and walking. So please bear with me. I'll make sure I stay in focus so that those of you watching can see. But my name is Dr. Maxwell. Well, Samuel Maxwell Edulate from Ghana, just like everyone else. First and foremost, we give thanks to the Almighty God for bringing us here, and to the ladies that put all this together. We thank them, just like our fellow panel said. One thing you guys have to understand, I know Dr. Bridget mentioned that, Ms. Akria mentioned that, and Ms. Vera mentioned that. You guys are getting something that's extraordinarily amazing for free. Getting mentors to talk to you about your career path is an amazing thing that you shouldn't take for granted. What do? I'm a spine surgeon and orthopedic surgeon. Went to school for a long time. But the reason why I say you guys have an amazing gift today is when I came here first to the U.S., I finished high school in Ghana, came to the U.S., live in Oklahoma. I knew, just like Dr. Bridges said, I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a doctor from Ghana. But I didn't know the pathway. When I arrived in Oklahoma, you tell everybody you want to be a doctor, they're like, no, we don't have Ghanaian doctors here. That's not going to happen. We have a Ghanaian pharmacist and 2 Ghanaian nurses. So if you want to do pharmacy, you should do pharmacy. But no Ghanaian can be a nurse, can be a doctor. So I decided to do pharmacy. The reason why I'm saying you guys are getting this gift is you're not going to spend 6 years in undergrad like I did. I spent 6 years in undergrad with a degree in biology, chemistry, physics, with a minor in theology. All this because I didn't know where I'm supposed to go. And back then, we didn't have Google and all these things that guides you to where you want to be and how you're going to get there. I didn't have any Ghanaian mentor to talk to, and I just keep taking classes. Biology, chemistry, physics, because that's what you need. And then theology, for my own personal reasons. But anyways, long story short, as I was in pharmacy, and one of my undergrad mentors was talking to me like, why are you taking all these classes? What are you trying to do? I was like, well, I want to be a doctor, but my community said I can't do it, so I'm going to do this instead. It's like, well, you can just do whatever you want. And that's when I started going to my mentors in school. You guys are having these people in your community, a Ghanaian community. I didn't have that in my Ghanaian community. So I followed my mentors in Oklahoma State, and slowly, they gave me the guidelines. And even that, when I came to my Ghanaian community, even my own friends used to laugh at me. They used to call me, literally, they used to call me Dr. Adu Latte. Not because they think I was going to do it, because they thought it wasn't going to happen. So it was just a joke. But now you guys have all these people in the panel that are in your community that are actually doing this. So take advantage of that. I know all of us are crazy busy, and you can reach out to us. I know sometimes it gets crazy, but if you reach out to us, I'm sure we can help. I think out of memory, I've helped since I started practicing, I've mentored about 8 Ghanaian kids, and 4 of them are doctors now, and 3 of them are in medical school now. They've all followed me in my office and, shadowed me and everything. But being a doctor is long. And like Dr. Bridges said, don't let anybody tell you, oh, this is long. I was talking to my best friend the other day, and he goes, bro, I have a confession to make. When we both came here to the U.S., I told him I'm going to medical school, and it's going to take about 20 years. He said, I used to laugh at you because I thought you were stupid because you're going to spend 20 years going to school, just 20 years to be a doctor. And he goes, I'll confess, I used to laugh at you. And now we're sitting back, and I've been here for 30 years in the U.S. We've been here for 30 years, and he's not a doctor, and I did it. And he goes, I can't believe you did it. I thought 30 years would never come. I thought 20 years would never come. But it goes just like that. So if you have a dream and people tell you, oh, to be a doctor is going to be 20 years, 30 years, whatever years, trust me, it's going to come. When you are 15, you are 16, 18, 20, you think 20 years is going to be forever. It comes just like that. I used to be your age, 2 days ago. And it goes just like that. So believe in your dreams. Don't let anybody stop you from your dreams. Even whatever you want to do. We used to say that some dreams are unattainable in the U.S., especially for black kids. We used to think, oh, a black person can never be a president. Well, guess what? A black kid that was born to a Kenyan parent became a president, right? And now we have another black lady running for president of the United States. Whether she wins or not, she's crashing the glass ceiling. So, I know you guys are here for healthcare. Don't let anybody tell you that it's unattainable. You can do it. You know, you can do whatever you want. And you have mentors. We have us here to help. I mean, just because you call Dr. Bridget on Monday and she tells you, oh, call Friday, or you call me and you can't get hold of me, doesn't mean you give up your dream. Call. Keep somebody else. And now in this Ghanaian community, we have a lot of physicians, Ghanaian doctors around. I know most of them don't go out, but there's a lot of them around. And I think I've met 2 Ghanaian spine surgeons here as well. I was the only one that was here 10 years ago, and now there's 2 other Ghanaian spine surgeons around here. So there's people around. So just use your mentors and just study hard. And like Dr. Bridget said, like I tell my kids, I have 4 boys, and I tell them, your friends will laugh at you today, but trust me, tomorrow, if you keep your dream, you will be laughing. So if you have any questions, we'll be glad to answer them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Maxwell. And as he said, there are a lot of Ghanaians in the health profession. And so we will show our slide for the rest of the mentors who couldn't make it due to, health professionals. We are something else, right? So, so yeah, we'll show them to you. But then I want to reach out to our online mentors who had emergencies, so had to join us online. If they have anything to say, and we are here, if there are any questions, that goes in their direction, they will be happy to help as well. So yeah, we're already showing them, plus our mentors here as well. So these are healthcare mentors, and if you wanna reach out to any one of them, you can reach out to me or Rena, or you can go through our website. So as you can see, we have a dermatologist here, we have a pediatrician, and so yeah. All right. Since we don't have anything to discuss right now from our mentors online, we'll take a short break just to have a little breakfast. We have some breakfast out there, and just to get some glucose in our system, boost us up a little bit more. And then when we come back, we'll come to our questions.
Lady Brenda, please, before we go on the break, I just want to add that we all say that healthcare is a great profession. It has all these branches that you can venture into, but it's not a bed of roses. I just want to put that out there. It has its challenges, and you are dealing with human lives, and one mistake of yours can end somebody's life. So healthcare is a great profession. I am very lucky to be in healthcare, but also know that like every other profession, it comes with its own challenge. I think none of us mentioned the challenges, so I just wanted to put that out there. I still remember patients that died in my hands like yesterday. I can't forget some of them ever. And unlike other professions, when mistakes can be corrected, in healthcare sometimes some of the mistakes cannot be corrected. And we live in the US where legal issues are, they'll take you to court in a matter of minutes. So although healthcare is a great profession, you must be someone who is passionate about it and who wants to continue learning, because you have to know what you are doing, because you are dealing with people's lives, that if somebody loses their life, you cannot bring them back. So that's one thing that I wanted to put out there, that we do have challenges in healthcare as well. All of us, I'm sure we all have our stories. And I cannot forget quite a few patients that died in my hands in the ICU, and I wish I could have done something differently. So healthcare does have some challenges. So if you think about any questions that you want to ask after the break, please bring that to us as well. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll have more to talk about when we come back. And it's true, because it's human lives, the school, they treat, schooling in nursing, I don't know for doctors, but I've seen doctors complain. it's like being in a military school. They will make sure that you get whatever you want to get. Like, you can get 99% and you'll get a B or a C. Yeah, so it's true. It's human life, so they are very tough on us too. All right, so we'll take our break now, have a little breakfast, and then we'll come back in 10 minutes. Thank you.
Because my papa is in control. I know fit fellow, he is more than able. Oh. Because my daddy did for him throne. Observe my life, oh, see the way I know. Because I'm under the umbrella. Now God get on up for me, he's more than able. Oh. Because I'm under the umbrella.
40 for my body. Where you dey carry me go? Where you dey carry me go? I dey under the canopy, so I no get what I like and no be. When they try to put on for my body, bounce cause Jehovah, he cover me, he cover me. Them know this stopping, you no get a checkpoint, oh. Everything you do is on point, oh. Lord, now my head where you anoint, oh, yo, yo. Your grace, no, the rest, they always, they follow me. Your joy be my strength, they power me. No other power fit to oppose me, oppose me. Because I'm under the umbrella. Now God get on up for me, it's more than able, oh. Because I'm under the umbrella. Now God get on up for me, it's more than able, oh.
24/7 you be God. Now you get the power. I just steady they collect you. Cause now your hotspots me I connect you. Oh, oh, oh.
future come. Oil in my head, you they see I'm wella. All around now you set my ladder. Anytime I step in at the place, now fire. By the grace of God, the bed do this summer. Planted by the water, I don't need merua. If you know my name, I'm on that God, I'm a racho, could you jelly, they lift me higher, higher, higher.
You canopy, papa, you cover me. China, you wait to give me ability. I get your back in your agility. From now till eternity.
My brother, my sister, na baba they carry the bag of fire.
Anywhere I enter, moves monumental. Inside the plans, na me take for the center.
I'm under the umbrella. Now God did all up for me. It's more than they will do. Because I'm under the umbrella. Now God did all up for me. It's more than they will do.
Because my papa, they in control. I know fit fellow, he is more than able, Lord.
Because my daddy did for him throne.
Observe my life, oh, see the way I know.
Oh, you lead, always for the one. Can we turn up? Can we turn up? Can we turn up? Can we turn up? Hey. He really, really moves up. This is what it says. I know he loves me. I know he cares. Whenever I call, he always is right there. In times of trouble, he is my help. Yeah, I know no fear. I know he'll be right there. Hey, he really does what he says he will do. My God really moves. Oh, hey, why would I doubt when he always comes through? My God really moves. Oh, he really, really moves. Oh, come on, sing the verse, y'all. I know he loves me. I know he cares. Whenever I call, he always is right. When I'm in trouble, he is my help. I know no fear. I know. Come on, we say, yeah. He really does what he says he will do. My God really moves. Whoa, hey. Why would I doubt when he always comes through? My God really moves. Whoa, hey. He really does what he says he will do. My God really moves. Baba, yeah. Baba, Baba. Why would I doubt when he always comes through? My God really moves. He really, really moves. Oh, he really comes through for me. Oh, every time, on time, every time. Come on, this your part. Come on, let's say. No, mema, you're always on time. You can't do no wrong. Oh, mema, come on. You leave the 99, always for the one. Oh, mema, you're the God who does good. Always on time. You can't do no wrong. Oh, mema, yeah, Baba, Baba, leave the 99. Come on, oh, mema, you're always on time. You can't
What would I do? My God really moved. Oh. So glad you leave the 99, always for the one. So glad you leave the 99. Oh, I remember when you came and saved me. I'm glad you leave the 99, hey, always for the one. I remember when you came and grabbed me. So glad you leave. Hey, always for the one. I remember the day you came and saved me from my sin. I'm glad you leave the 99, hey, always for the one. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending love of God. You leave the 99, hey, always for the one. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending love of God. You leave the 99, always for the one. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending love of God. You leave the 99, hey, always for the one. Oh, the overwhelming, never-ending. So glad you leave the 99, always for the one. There's no one that you won't get down. I'm so glad that you will leave the 99, always for the one. There's no lie that you won't take down. I'm so glad that you will leave the 99, always for the one. Baba, baba, email, baba, baba. So glad you leave the 99, always for the one. Now, man, can we turn up just 30 seconds? Everybody, turn up, turn up. So glad you leave the 99, always for the one. Whatever it takes, whatever it takes. So glad you leave the 99, always for the one. Oh God, whatever it takes, whatever it takes. So glad you leave the 99, always for the one. I remember the day that you came and saved me. I'm so glad that you will leave the 99, oh Lord. So glad you leave the 99, always for the one. I remember that day that you came and grabbed me from my mess. I'm glad you leave the 99, always for the one. Email, baba, baba, leave. Does anybody know what it feels like to be saved? So glad you leave. What kind of God is this? What kind of God is this? So glad you leave. What kind of God is this? What kind of God is this? So glad you leave the 99, always for the one. Hey, 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 I'm glad you will leave the 99, always for the one. He'll come to the highest mountain and he'll come to the lowest valley. He will. He'll come to the highest mountain and he'll come to the lowest valley. He will. I know he will. Whatever it takes, whatever it takes, whatever it takes, whatever it takes. So glad you. So glad you leave. There's no one that you won't get down. I'm so glad that you will leave the 99, always for the one. There's no shadow you won't light up. I'm so glad that you will leave the 99, always for the one. There's no lie that you won't set down. I'm so glad that you will leave the 99, always for the one. Whatever it takes, whatever it takes. Oh, you will leave. Whatever it takes, whatever it takes. I've witnessed it. I'm a living example. He will, he will, he will, he will. Email. I'm living proof that he'll do what he gotta do to get to you. He'll lead. Oh my God, I'm about to lose my mind. I'm living proof that he'll do what he gotta do to get to you. He'll lead. I'm about to lose my mind upon this stage.
Okay, we're back from the break and we're going to continue from where we left off. We do have one of our mentors who couldn't make it due to an emergency. She had to attend to Dr. Diana Alote, who is online, and she would like to say a few things, and then we will move forward to the next thing to discuss. Thank you. So, Dr. Diana.
Thank you, Lady Brenda. Thank you, everyone, for this opportunity. It's really an honor to be able to speak to our mentees, or I guess our potential mentees. And what I'm about to say, it's not, different from what the other mentors have said, that however way you start and you end up in healthcare, it's perfectly fine. So my background is in nutrition, but I didn't exactly start in nutrition. So back in Ghana, everybody who did science would want to go to medical school. I did not get into medical school. I was devastated. And so I ended up getting a bachelor's degree in food science and nutrition. And so for a really long period of time, I thought of myself as a food microbiologist. I worked for the food industry. I worked for Funmill Ghana Limited, and I did a lot of working for food manufacturing organizations. And so that's where I started, my science career, I should say. And then fast forward a few years, I realized that I wasn't getting as much satisfaction as I would like. And so, I was talking to a few friends, and they recommended me for a particular role that was a little different from what I thought I would be engaged in, which was working as a public health nutritionist. Remember, my bachelor's degree was in both food science and nutrition, and so I could also work in nutrition. And so I ended up working for an organization that did nutrition research, in the outskirts of or like in rural Ghana. And so that's where I started my nutrition career. I worked for them, and through that opportunity or working for them, I got connected to, come to the United States and do my master's. And so I came to the US, I came to do my master's. It was a really satisfying experience. I got an MPH in nutrition. Thereafter, I went back to Ghana to practice and work, with a lot of expectation that I would work as somebody who, was doing public health and nutrition in different settings and with different organizations. That dream also didn't happen. And so I realized that there were different things I could do, in terms of having a public health degree. And so I ended up actually getting a job as a monitoring and evaluation, or a lot of jobs as a monitoring and evaluation, specialist, or in the monitoring evaluation field. And I know that may sound a little different in your ears. Like, what has that got to do with the clinical practice? And I would say that it doesn't necessarily or directly have anything to do with clinical practice, but it's more in terms of approaching health using the preventive lens. And so if like you work in preventative or preventive, however way you choose to call it, healthcare, you need somebody who is able to kind of say that based on what we plan to do, these are the benchmarks, these are the metrics, these are the parameters. And so that's kind of what I do. I'm a monitoring evaluation person, and that's what I've worked on in a variety of settings in the last few years. And so I did that a little bit, or I did that for about 6 years. I got married, had kids, and then I got the opportunity to come and pursue a doctorate back in the US. And so I came back to pursue a doctorate with my family. And fast forward, here I am living in Texas, belonging to a great church, having the opportunity to mentor a great group of, young people. And I would say that, keep your mind open, keep your heart open, be open to what God wants you to do. Sometimes it's not straightforward, it's not clear cut. A lot of our, mentors have said it, some started their engagement with healthcare as patients. Some weren't sure exactly what the path would be like to be a doctor, but they wanted to be a doctor. Others started, in other different, settings, or like pursuing other interests. But just remember that, like at the end of the day, God has a plan for your life. And so, try as much as possible, put in the work. Don't don't slack. Like, don't think that like it will just fall in place, like the stars will align or whatnot. It's like whatever the Gen Z generation says now. Don't think that way. Like, put in the work, be diligent, studies to show yourself approved. That's exactly what you need to do. Like, put in the work, speak to the people you need to speak to, make sure you network. And networking is really important, because you wouldn't know what is out there if you aren't speaking to people to tell you what's out there. So make sure you network, and God will lead you into where He has planned for you. So that's all I wanted to add.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Diana. Thank you. So we're going to go back, and if any of the mentors want to add a few things before we go to our question and answers.
So I'm so glad the previous speaker just talked about network, because after Dr. Maxwell spoke, I thought about sharing with you all some of the groups and organizations in Houston, and the way that you can even get additional support. So I belong to various nursing associations and groups, and I'm sure Dr. Maxwell on the medical side also. And then all the certifications or the letters you see behind our names are certifications or affiliations that we have with these organizations. So even as you are in the career, you need to continue what we call lifelong learning and continue to improve on your field. But in Houston, we have a group called the Prestige Ladies of Houston. It's a group of professional women, but we do have quite a few people in there that have nursing backgrounds and different roles. So definitely we'll try and put the information out there on the platform so that you can reach out to any of us on that platform with regards to healthcare and nursing. I also want to share that one of my goals, growing up, I saw my mom teach for 15 years, and she became an entrepreneur. So I've been wanting to be an entrepreneur and want to retire as an entrepreneur. So as I got along, I'm already thinking of my retirement, which is what we're talking about, the dream and projecting your goals ahead. So I've started a company to actually staff and employ people in healthcare. So I'm building myself to become an entrepreneur in that space. And so you would think, what's nursing got to do with, being an entrepreneur? But now I get to be in the space, not just to mentor you all, but also to give you the opportunity to plug you into employment spaces as you study. So just like Dr. Bridget said, we're doing CNA courses, dentist or pharmacy tech or psych tech, or community health work. Those are all employment opportunities you can have after you do those short certifications to give you the experience. And then hopefully it would help you not have the mindset that, oh my God, nursing is just about blood and injections. Like I said, I was a patient from when I was born. I did not like injections, and I did not want to see blood after I've had so many blood transfusions. But once I understood that beyond the injection and blood and what have you, those are just foundational knowledge I need to have. Now I don't give anybody injections, and I don't go near any blood. And like I explained, I work in the preventative space and the rehabilitation space in the community. So I'm not in hospital like Ikuya, is experiencing now. even though I did have experience there, and then I moved on into the community. So I want us, like we've all spoken, to keep an open mind about the healthcare field.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Any more additions?
Yeah, like Ms. Vera said, healthcare is very broad. I've never met a healthcare worker that's bored with what they do, unless they just don't want to advance or they just want to stay in one place. I recently thought about going to law school because I go to court a lot to defend, or not defend, let me rephrase. I go to court a lot to testify on patients that have motor vehicle collisions or injuries, that have spinal cord injuries and other injuries that are suing somebody or are going into litigation. And I go to court, and sometimes it's amazing, or it interests me because something different from what I'm used to, from drawing blood and cutting on people and interacting with lawyers and judges and everything. Even though sometimes it's annoying, but it gives you a different perspective of other fields, So that's a good thing about healthcare. I know there's forensics healthcare. There are healthcare workers that investigate crime, forensics. Some of them do paleontology, which is when they dig fossils, like dinosaurs or whatever. They can age those bones and everything. So healthcare is very broad field. Wherever you are in healthcare, you're gonna interact with any other field. So when you choose healthcare, I'm not trying to downplay anybody's career. Somebody told me, a mentor told me once, if you choose healthcare, you will never end up under the bridge. There's always a job. There's always hiring. And for us minorities, that is one of the guaranteed jobs. If I was a lawyer or anything else, they would look at my accent and like, nah, you can't defend me. But as a spine surgeon, people come to me from all sorts of life. I've treated CEOs of companies here in Houston, big people to small people, because they judge me based on what I do, not because of the color of my skin. So that's one good thing I can say for healthcare. So,
thank you, Dr. Maxwell.
Dr. Maxwell, you want to be a lawyer? I want to be a journalist. I've been thinking about doing healthcare reporting, because when I hear people reporting healthcare issues and the way they mention some of the things and they don't understand, and I'm like, I want to be a journalist. Well, in Ghana, like, you don't understand what you're talking about. So I want to be a journalist so I can report on healthcare issues. So you see, I can be a nurse and a journalist. You can be a doctor and a lawyer. So healthcare, you never go wrong. I'm always telling my children, choose healthcare. I've not regretted it. Yeah.
Thank you. Any more additions? We're going to open the floor for questions. And I'm just finding out from Akuya that I'm also learning. I initially thought that if you want to go into acute care nurse practitioner, you need critical care background. That's not the case. So ask the questions. If you don't ask the questions, you never know the answer. So if you have any questions, just let us know.
Okay, I want to start off the questions. My name is Enyonam. My son is sitting right in front there, and they always do that, these kids of today. Okay, so I want to come from the parent perspective and ask, Dr. Maxwell talked about the long winding road and the cost associated to it. So I want to ask from the parent's perspective or the parent's side, how do we navigate the cost aspect of healthcare education?
So,
and what the opportunities are apart from the scholarships and all of those things. What are the ways that as parents we can navigate the cost aspect of healthcare education?
So, yeah, I think, not to downplay, I think I'm probably the one with the most student loan. So, yeah, there is so many avenues to navigate the cost of healthcare. The cost of health education in healthcare. the number one thing I tell kids these days is make straight A's. It's not that we didn't make straight A's, but there's more opportunities these days if you make straight A's to get scholarship. When I went to medical schools didn't offer scholarship. Now they are offering scholarships. As a matter of fact, NYU, New York University, started where you get free medical school education if you get admitted to that school. As I sit here, approximately most surgeons roughly are looking at paying student loan about $2,000 or $3,000 a month. So if you decide you're gonna go, you can't just go and stop in the middle of the road. You have to go all the way through. But it's worth it because you are able to pay for it at some point, or there are other avenues. For example, if there's something called the Indian Health, there's a lot of things that small towns will offer. If you go to a small town and practice there for 4 years, they'll pay your student loan. I didn't want to go to a small town. Or if you join the military, I have friends, colleagues that after medical school, they joined the military, became a captain right away, officers, and then you stay for 4 years, they pay your student loan. There are other avenues. You join some hospitals, they will pay your way, or you'll pay your student loan. But there's so many avenues that are available. I tell parents, if your kid really, really want to go into medicine, make sure they get straight A's. Don't worry about the cost. My own personal experience, when I was admitted to medical school, of course, my parents are in Ghana. I'm here, undergrad, spent 6 years in undergrad, applied for medical school, I got acceptance letter. And then a week later, they send you the bill and the cost. And then I started crying. I was like, I've all this dream, I don't think I have the money to pay for it. Back then, I didn't know. So I started crying. I cried for like a whole weekend. I'm like, I got into medical school. Now I can't afford to pay for it. And then Monday comes, I call the school, and they're like, oh, don't worry, we'll give you a student loan. So all the crying I did for the weekend was nothing. But Monday, spoke to them. They say, yeah, we'll give you a student loan. Unfortunately, that's one of the things I don't agree with in America. They will give you $250,000 to use for student loan to go to school, but they won't give you $250,000 to start a business at that age. But anyway, they will give you student loan to cover that. As long as you finish school, yeah, you can pay for it. As long as you don't stop.
Let me add a little to it from the parent's perspective, because I'm a parent as well, and even though you guys don't realize it, we also have dreams for you, whether you like it or not. So what I would say for parents is we need to start early. There are various college investments that you can do, like the 529, and this might not relate to you, the younger ones, but for the parents, there is college funding that you can start investing in, and insurances that you can plug yourself into in the name of the child, and you manage it until the child is 18. Some of the funding are specific for college funding, and some of them, you can use to leverage like the car or the university food and accommodation and things like that. So if you need more information, definitely plug in and reach out to one of us, and we can work through what is applicable for your family, because you would have to be making monthly payments right now. Really, you should have started when the child was born. So I have the experience of in the UK, when a child is born, the government gives the child £250. So my children got that. And then what they encourage you is every birthday, stop asking for earphone, iPod, iPad, this and that, and start asking for money from your uncles and aunties, and then put that. So my daughter is smart. She's learned that now. So whenever anybody gives her money for a birthday, she comes to hand it to me, because I've taught her the value in saving and investing now against her college time. So that's one thing from the financial point. Dr. Max said he might be the one with the most student loan on this platform. I don't have a student loan. I don't even know what the heck that is. So What I do is I look for what I call opportunities. Opportunities pay. In the society we're in here, if you really pay tune online and everything else, just keep Googling where there are scholarships, there are funding, there are grants, and there are programs in the education system that if you are a female, black, or if you want to, like again, like he said, work in a certain region or area, especially the underserved areas and rural areas, have a lot of grants and funding. I would align myself with that type of program, go and hustle there for 3 years and get my schooling free. So those are all things you can start thinking about now. But I feel like they're very specific to what you want to do. So if you think about any of that information that will benefit you, definitely reach out to Brenda and we'll be able to assist. Thank you.
Yeah, and we do have someone also who is dedicated with professional mentorship, Mrs. Gifty Aidan. She had a workshop quite recently, so you can reach her if you have her number, or you can reach out to Rena or I, and we can connect you with her.
Yeah, one more thing. And you can also do like I did, work and go to school. So if you come out of high school with your CNA certificate and you are in college, during the summer, go hustle, get some money. So that you can use that to kind of cover some of the costs for your college. If you have a farm tech certificate or you have EMT or something, weekends when you're in college, instead of being friends and being on social media, go do some work and make some money. So those are all ways that you can help yourself. And Dr. Max and I were discussing, we sat on during the break, that instead of doing prerequisites for medical school, you can do nursing as your prerequisite whilst you do other courses. So during the summer break, you go and do a nursing job for 3-4 months. That's a lot of money that you can save towards your college. You can kind of use that towards your student loan, so you don't have a lot of debts when you finish school. So you have to apply yourself to what you are doing. Your parents will help you, but you also have to play your part. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We do have some questions here, and they are actually directed to, so there is one here to Akia. What is your biggest fear, and have you overcome it? If so, how? And if not, what is stopping you?
So my biggest fear as a nurse practitioner is actually killing my patient, honestly. No, that's true. Like, because as a nurse, we take orders, right, from the physicians, from the nurse practitioners. Now, when you are in that seat, you're given the orders. You are now in the driver's seat of taking care of that patient. And there's moments where I'm just like, oh, I hope I didn't miss something, or will giving this order hurt or benefit my patient? How I overcome those type of situations is I just take my time. Right? So take your time. You're not going to know everything, even as a physician of 2 years, as a physician of 10 years, as a physician of 20 years. Like they say, they're always learning, always doing new certifications, because one thing about healthcare is that it's always changing, right? So I don't know, Dr. Adulati might not even like this comment, but starting yesterday at Memorial Hermann, we now are being told for surgeries, spine surgeries, that we should keep our patients on blood thinners all the way up to surgery. And that's never been a thing. That's never been a thing. You don't want your patient to bleed out, or, anybody to bleed out during a surgery, and it's orthopedic surgery, fractures. And it is saying that we now need to keep them on their blood thinners all the way up to surgery in pre-op. And some of the surgeons are like, no, but that's the medicine that's changing. Can that harm your patient? Yes. Because imagine during surgery, they're just constantly bleeding out because their blood is so thin. But that is now the new practice that medicine is saying they want us to do. So sometimes using just your educated guess won't work like it used to. You just have to kind of follow the handbook and just follow the guide, so.
All right, thank you. And just to add up, if you are not the person who wants to be studying every time, then I don't think healthcare is for you. Because even if you don't do anything at all, every year you have annual competencies. They want to make sure that you can do what you're saying you can do. So, yeah. And then I have another question for all 4 mentors. It says, how do you balance life and work?
So I think I'm the youngest on the panel. So, sorry, you're 21. I'm sorry. No kids. The youngest on the panel, I'm only 31. So balancing healthcare and work, that was the thing. So when I first started school, I know this is crazy. So when I first started, I would actually go on a trip, study during my trip, take an exam, and ace it. And my friends were like, how? They're like, how? Like, you were just in Louisiana yesterday. The test is today. How did you? And it's all about, like, your determination, number one, and just how focused you are. You know, like I was telling her earlier, every type of situation is different based on your actual education style, right? Some people, they have photographic memory. I have photographic memory. I don't need to read to obtain. I just need to look, right? And that's just how some people naturally are. They just have to see it and they remember, you know? Others, they have to reread and reread and reread to obtain, and that's okay. But keeping the balance between life and healthcare, it doesn't come with, always going out, always having to miss this and that because I have to study. That will actually put you in a form of depression. Healthcare is depressing. Healthcare is it's tough. There's going to be nights where you cry. You know, there's going to be nights where you're like, I don't know why I'm still doing this. You know, there's going to be nights where you feel like you are not good enough. There's going to be days where you pass and you're in clinicals and you still feel like you're not good enough, you know, or you've been reprimanded or like corrected for something. You're like, well, maybe this isn't for me. You know, those days will come, but you need to balance those hard days with days of fun. You know, go out to those brunches with your friends, go to church, go to, you know, your family's having an event, go to that event. Even if you have to study at the event, you know, there's been times that I'm studying on Thanksgiving. And it's okay. You're at least around family. You're at least around something joyful that's going to balance those hard times, you know, so.
Yeah, I heard somebody, I went somewhere, and the person was like, what do you do? I was like, oh, okay, do you have one of these at other locations? And she was like, do you travel a lot? I'm like, maybe. And she's like, okay, what do you do for work? I said, I'm a health professional. She was like, oh, it's typical. Yeah. We take vacations a lot because we need it for our mental health. So, yeah.
Sorry. Let me come at it from another perspective because she's living her best life. No husband to take care of, no kids.
I have a husband.
Oh, you do?
Yes,
Oh.
5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, because that you need to balance that too, and make sure that he's well taken care of. So, what's it called? That in mind, that tells you that she's actually having to factor that in as well, not just the family. But I think the kids also add a spin to it, you know, and it can get challenging. But I'm coming from it from a leader point of view because my current role, I'm in leadership. And I do have a lot of my staff that I manage that are mothers, fathers, and obviously have other goals they want to achieve. In addition to being an entrepreneur or doing some, you know, like wanting to become a lawyer, a doctor, or something else in addition to what they're doing. I will point to structure, right? And I say this with my daughter all the time. You learn hard, you play hard. Like she said, there's a place and time for everything, but you never lose your focus. Then find a structure. Either you use your phone, the calendar, or your Outlook, or your calendar. Like she said, write it down, right? Why are you saying that? Correct. Because it's a hard ball to juggle. Something is going to drop. That is where the key word you want to take away with today is called prioritization. You've heard your parents say that because I see people nodding here already. Prioritize. Is that social media time more important than acing that test the next day? And I just plot times where I call my office time, my middays, during Monday to Friday that I reshuffle. And it's okay, things will change, but it's basically all you're doing all the time, trying to prioritize and reprioritize. But always make sure that you're working towards that goal. So that's what I wanted to add.
Thank you all. The good thing about healthcare is that if something is not working for you, there are so many opportunities to change what you are doing and do something else. I went from the critical care units into education, back into critical care, then into quality where my needs changed. After having 3 kids, I couldn't do the 7 to 7 anymore, 12-hour shifts anymore. Because my husband is a pilot, he's out of the house most of the time. So I have to make sure I get them to school and I get them back. That's when I went into quality. Quality, at least I drop them off at school and then I pick them up after work from daycare or whatever I can. So you kind of arrange your life around your schedule. And then if it's not working for you, as I said, there are so many things you can do in healthcare. You change. Recently, I changed my job because something happened and I want to share. So my 2 younger kids were going to school and I dropped them off at the bus stop because I have to run and get to work because there was a survey going on and I have to be at work at 7 a.m. and their bus only comes at 7:25. So I got to the bus stop, I dropped these 2 young kids there, turned around, it was drizzling, and I drove away. At that point, I thought something has got to give. So I decided that this quality work and going to work at 7 a.m. and closing sometimes 6 p.m. and working through the weekend is not working for my kids anymore. So then I went into clinical operations. And that does not demand me doing all this, it's still very busy. My daughter will tell you, I'm in meetings from morning till sometimes 6 p.m. But at least it's a bit more flexible, so I can at least make sure they get to school before I start work. So if it's not working for you, as your family needs change, when you are single, there are so many things you can do. Get all the experience, get all the money. When you get married and the kids start coming, you have to readjust that. Get into something that will give you more flexibility. That's why I love healthcare. You can go into teaching, and you take like three courses, and you do that a week, and you still have time for the family. So you adjust and change professions and change areas of focus as your needs change. So this is what recently made me change my job from quality into clinical operations. So yeah, you can do that too. And that's all we all do. But the juggling, yeah, every day.
I want to share a little. I know Miss Equia, somebody asked, what is your biggest fear? And she said, killing a patient. Yes, all healthcare workers have that at the back of our mind. If you are young and you're going to school and you want to be a healthcare worker, don't let that scare you. One rule of medicine is do no harm. I believe that once you know deep down your heart you're doing the right thing that you will do for yourself and your family, you'll be okay. There's a lot of litigation in healthcare. Majority of the doctors, nurses, well, doctors get sued a lot, but the doctors that get sued, majority of the time, they are actually not working in the best interest of the patient, or they're not doing something that they will do for their own family. Negligence. But if you, deep down, you're doing something that you do for yourself, your family, you'll be okay. And patients understand that you did your best. So don't let that scare you into healthcare. Also, as far as career path and everything, of late, healthcare, we're getting to enjoy some of the things that IT personnel and all the other guys enjoy. I have colleagues that are working in the Caribbean, being radiology techs, and all they have to do, radiologist, all they have to do is sit by a big screen. They don't have to be in the US, and they can read films. I plan on retiring in Ghana. My goal is that I can go to, I don't want to lose my 20 years of schooling and just go sit in Ghana. But I plan on just go in Ghana and doing something else. But I'm going to come here and work 2 months and then go back. That's a good thing about healthcare. I don't have to apply for a job. A job can fly me from Ghana to come. A hospital in a small community can fly you all the way and come here and do that. I do that now. I go to the border of Mexico, Laredo, McAllen, Harlingen, those border towns, and I go see patients for a weekend or a few days and then come back. So, I mean, you can work literally from everywhere and you can travel. There are a lot of doctors, nurses that are traveling around the world and living their best life. If you're in your 20s and you're like, I'm not ready to settle down in Houston, you can travel in different months, different hospitals, different places. So there's enormous opportunities in healthcare. So.
Yeah, the
Oh, yeah.
Work from home opportunities now also that were not there in the past. So a lot of, as he said, IT kind of work, you sit at home and then you work. But there's nothing in healthcare that's easy. And I think that in America, there's no job that's easy. Yeah. Everything has it's all difficult. So you just choose your poison. That's what I tell my staff. Just choose your poison and live with it. So everything, there's some difficulty in everything. There's no job that you will not apply yourself to. Every job. If you are working from home, you apply yourself. But then choose the job that suits your family needs. As the needs change, you kind of change career to suit that. And healthcare will offer you the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have a question for Dr. Maxwell. It says, I started taking business courses and I want to switch to healthcare, but I still don't know what I want. Can you give me pointers to what I can start doing? And also, another one says, I think I'm too old to go into medicine. Would you advise someone who is in their 30s to start medicine school?
Oh, let me answer. That one is easy. Would I advise somebody in their 30s to go to medical school? One of my classmates was 50 years old. One of my classmates was 50 years old. And the day we graduated, she was really happy. And going back, we had a reunion some years back, and they were like, what they accomplished within that 5 years of graduating is more than they did in their whole 50 years. So there's no time limit if you want to go to medical school. I mean, yeah, they will look at you like your grandpa in med school, but at least, one of my classmates was also a pilot, flew planes for the U.S. Air Force, and went to med school. So 30, that's still young. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that 30 is very young. And the other question, can you jog my...
From business to healthcare.
From business to healthcare. The question is, at what level is a person? Is they in college and a master's, or they actually working as a business as a person? If you are
taking business courses, so in school.
Okay, so if you're taking business courses, then it's not too late. It's never too late to go into healthcare. I can ask the panel. I don't think it's ever too late. We've seen a range. There is the idea that most people do it at a younger age. Of course, if you're going to go to medical school, and you don't have to be a surgeon, which is going to take forever, but you can go to med school, finish, and then do family medicine or something that doesn't take a long time. So there's never a time that you can say you can't switch into anything. You can switch. Like I said, recently I wanted to go into law school because one of my other colleagues was like, hey, let's go. He actually went for a year and he stopped. There's never a time to say, hey, you can't do it. In my opinion, I know a lady that graduated, got a PhD at age 90. In my opinion, as long as you're alive, you can do whatever you want to do. Yeah, as long as you're alive, I mean, if this is your goal and your dream to do it, hey, as long as you're alive, you can do it.
From an academic perspective, since they're in school, they could actually do or consider what we call bridge courses. Bridge courses, and they can actually leverage. An example is just what I'm giving. If I were that person, and because they said they didn't know what to do, but one of the things is maybe get experience by doing another certification, or like the licensed vocational nurse program, which is like 2 years. That will give you a bridge. So I want you to, remember that keyword, because you want to transition from one area to another. So you need a bridge, something that will connect you. So once you do that for 2 years, you're already in the healthcare space now. And you can even do, like I said, the community healthcare course. It doesn't involve you in hospitals or anything like that. It exposes you to healthcare by working in the community. So you already have it as a bridge to transition from the business side into healthcare. But here is the key thing. That business knowledge and experience or qualification you have, it's never going to go to waste. You're definitely going to pick it up again once you get into the healthcare space and figure out, what you want. Opportunities also sometimes knock, so pay attention.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So we will take the rest of our questions online. If you want to connect with any one of them, we will connect you, reach out to us, or reach out through the website. We want to thank our sponsors again, ICGC Praise Temple, Houston Spine Institute, Prime Express Pharmacy, and then Ghana Association of Houston. So with Just a moment. Yeah. So we would like to move forward to the next thing that we have on our program, and that is a presentation to one of our mentees who went through this professional mentorship, and she wants to be a doctor, and so we connected her to a few people. Currently, she's connected to one who is directly what she wants to be in future. And she went through some volunteering and she completed it. And one thing is with professional mentorship, if you are able to complete whatever you start with your mentor, we have some prizes and some scholarships and some things to support you in the career path that you have chosen. So I want to call our mentee, the first successful mentee and ongoing, because she started, but she is still in the whole process. Glenda Fari, if you can come forward. And this presentation is from one of our sponsors, Houston Spine Institute, and it's just to support her in buying books when she goes into college and, studying medicine and everything. So, Glenda. So we present this to Glenda. That is $500 for books for school. And also to say thank you to you for reaching out, and we are here for you, and to encourage the rest of you, come join us, come and talk to your mentor, because we are here for you. And it's also free, just a reminder, you don't pay anything. I've had people asking me, is it free? And I said, yes, it is free. So Glenda, this is for you, and also to help you in continuing your passion, yeah.
I just wanted to add that Glenda's mentor is the dermatologist. I think she was put on there a while ago. Dr. Jacqueline Minaso. She was put on the screen a while ago. She's not here with us today because, again, health workers are always on the move. So thank you, Glenda, so much.
Definitely thank you to our panelists. Like, your advice is definitely invaluable. I've learned a lot, especially from the last meeting that we had. Specifically, I do want to thank Dr. Maxwell for this scholarship. Like, thank you very much. And I also want to thank Lady Brenda and Dr. Ofori. Like, working at HCA was an experience. I liked some parts, I didn't. It definitely let me know that ER is not for me. But it was a great experience. I just want to say thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you, Glenda, and also thank you to our sponsors once more. I just want to also ask one of our mentors who is online, Dr. Diana, if she has anything to say before we go ahead and wrap up.
I don't actually have anything to say, except that this was a really nice experience, and I'm glad that we're able to all share our different experiences and the different pathways that led us into this place. And it's a privilege, but if the mentees are not able to tap into all of this resource, I think it would be such a shame. And so, like Glenda has done, and others, who have done it. So I encourage all of the, like the youth, to just tap into this. All of us, we are there to help you and to support you. So make good use of, the resource that you have currently, in terms of like the mentors that have been put together for you. So just reach out. We are happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Diana. And I think Dr. Bridget wants to say something before we close.
Youth here, have you asked all your questions? Have all your questions been answered? Because after this, some of them we never see, you not see them again. They will not reach out.
Okay, we have an online person who wants to ask a question. The person can go ahead.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey, so my name is Paul, and I have a question for Ms. Vera. So, from my understanding, you did transit. I mean, you moved from the UK to the US, and my question is, how was that transition? And if you can throw light on that, and how can you advise somebody who just moved to the US, and how can they transition into the medical field?
Thank you so much, Paul, for that question. And it's really timely, so I hope it would benefit someone. But whether you're moving from any other part of the world to the US, you've got to first of all know what the standards for the US field you're getting into is. And as Brenda mentioned, it's very different. And I know we say it's difficult. It was difficult, I have to be honest. But I think the opportunity you guys have here is your education system already prepares you. So the way your SATs are structured, because I see my kids studying for it now, is the way the examinations are. The UK training I had did not have the kind of aptitude test that USA had. So it was very difficult for me to try and leave that form of or method of learning to come and learn the NCLEX to try and write the exam. The NCLEX, by the way, which is the nursing registration exam that you have to take, is 265 questions for 6 hours. I have never sat anywhere for more than 2 hours to write the exam, and it was insane to me because in the UK, our program is such that it's more theory-based and it's more what you know. So they ask you the question and then you answer. And then, and then we also have practical that you do that helps with your scores. But here I was in the US and I had to align with studying for that exam. And in 6 hours, it was going to determine whether I became a registered nurse in the USA or not. Mind you, coming over from the UK, I was already working as a nurse practitioner. I had years of working in the UK, and I couldn't understand why. I'm a registered nurse in the UK, very bona fide. Like I said, I have my bachelor's in mental health. I am a registered general nurse, so I have 2 licenses in the UK. And I was coming to the US, and they're asking me to come and sit this exam for 6 hours, and it was going to determine that I became a registered nurse. That was difficult for me. But what I did was I plugged myself into a lot of training conferences, a lot of online material, the big books, Lippincott and all those things. And I had to study. Talking about balance, it was a challenging time because I was a parent and I had a husband to support. So it was hard, but you have to have dedicated time to just study. But the first thing is start with what are the requirements here because you are coming over. So whatever you're leaving behind is not going to be so applicable to what you're studying here. So you have to align yourself with the expectations here, study, get the materials, get the courses, take the exam, and once you pass, you can now register with any board of nursing. So I'm registered with the Texas Board of Nursing, and I'm also registered with California. And the Texas Board of Nursing, the good thing is that it's a compact state licensure, so you are actually licensed automatically with 30 states. That is the important thing about being in Texas. So you automatically get 30 states. I can work in anywhere. And because I actually am also licensed with California, I can work with any contracts or any jobs in California as long as they don't require me to live in California. So thank you so much, Paul, for your question. I hope that helps somebody.
I have something little to add. So the other thing you can do, transitioning from wherever in the world to the US, is to use an agency. There are so many agencies now. I came to the US through Graduating International. So they will help you. They will help you with your CGNFS that you have to write first. They'll prepare you for the NCLEX. I flew from South Africa to Hong Kong to go and write my NCLEX at that time. That was 2005. I've been doing this for a long time. So this agency will help you, walk you through all the immigration, everything that you need. So when I got here, I had my green card already for 10 years. I came with a green card. I came with a job already waiting for me. They help me with my apartment. So they kind of help you settle in, and they'll support you until you finish your contract with them. I had a 2-year contract with them in the ICU. So once I finished that contract, I was free to go wherever I wanted to go. And within 5 years, I got my citizenship. So I thought that was a very good way to come in here. They support you. They take you. If you want to come by yourself, it can be a lot. for you. And they prepare you for the NCLEX. They'll do the pre-NCLEX exams for you and then get you ready for it. It's a long process. I've never written exams like I did with this agency. I think I wrote exams in everything, IV infusion, injection, like 200 exams before you are ready for the NCLEX. But once you go through that, it makes your life so much easier when you come to the US. And then they give you a family visa with your children, husband, everybody. And they support you until you get a citizenship. So I would suggest that as a good option. Just that people don't want to do the work. It's a lot of work. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to say one other thing. So for the young ones to know how good you have it now. I know Ms. Vera said she took an NCLEX exam for 260 questions. When I took my medical school, no entrance, the step 1 exam, it was 2 days, 800 questions. 2 days. You come one day, you take the exam, 8 hours, the whole day. Then the next day, you come back again. But now, guess what? Now that has been, for you guys' generation, it's only 1 day, and it's reduced about 200 something questions. So that's how easy, not easy, but just think about the opportunities now to do these things now. So.
Thank you. And I also wanted to add that with people from our part of the world, I'm from Ghana, so I'll talk about Ghana. We had this impression, when you're in Ghana, they're like, oh, school in the US is easy. And so we come with that idea, and we underestimate the education over here. But then in nursing, like, some of us did, you need to think critically, because that is what you will be doing on the job. And I know somebody who came from the UK. I know somebody who came from Canada. And they said nursing in the United States is very different because you are taking orders from the physician. However, you are working autonomously. You are working on your own because they will give you the medication. PRN is up to you to choose which one applies to your patient. So they want you to think critically, so the exam is made in that way. So our people from Ghana, when you come, I've seen that it's not because somebody is not intelligent or anything. They underestimate the education over here, and then it will get them. So try as much as possible to catch up to it. If you need assistance, just reach out. Thank you. Any more questions from the audience? Okay, looks like we are right on time. And we want to say thank you again to our mentors. Equia had to go because duty calls. As health professionals, we are, so thank you to Dr. Maxwell, Dr. Bridget, Vera, and then also Equia, who is on her way back to work. And also thank you all for coming. We really appreciate you. And thank you to our sponsors once more. I want to go ahead and say a prayer for us to close officially, and then we can go to our various destinations. Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for a successful event. We thank you for all the knowledge that you have given us today. As we are going about our daily work and whatever we are going to do today, Father, guide us and help us in making decisions towards our careers and our goals in life, that at the end of the day, all thanks and glory will be unto your name. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
When I'm in trouble, he is my help. I know no fear, I know. Come on, we say, yeah. He really does what he says he will do. Come on, let's say, no, never. You're always on time. You can't do no wrong. Oh, never. Come on. You leave the 99, always for the one. Oh, never. You're the who does good.